Hey there, and welcome to the Sunny Daze Podcast. I'm your host, Jolly. And first up today, well, a great story about simple acts of kindness. When Christopher Nall, an engineering student at Texas A&M, made the long drive from College Station to visit his family in Lubbock, Texas, he had no idea his return trip would take a turn for the stressful. Halfway back to campus in Abilene, he realized he had left his wallet behind. Christopher's parents had urged him to thoroughly search the car and revisit his last stops in Lubbock, but the wallet was nowhere to be found. With no luck at the gas station he had stopped at or anywhere along his route, they were ready to cancel his cards. Then, by sheer chance, they spotted something unexpected. After one last errand, Christopher's dad noticed something unusual in the rearview mirror: the missing wallet sitting right on the hood of the car in their driveway. At first, it seemed almost too good to be true. That's when they checked their home security footage and discovered a simple yet remarkable act of kindness. The video showed a man arriving at their house, wallet in hand. Rather than pocketing it or discarding it, he knocked on their door and spoke to their security camera. He explained that he had found the wallet, used the address on the ID inside to locate the house, and decided to leave it safely on the car for them to find. This stranger's thoughtful gesture left a big impression. While the Nalls have always considered Lubbock a friendly place, they never expected such an act of honesty. For Christopher, it meant more than just avoiding the hassle of replacing ID and credit cards. It meant he found he could focus on his studies and take care of his exams as planned. In a world where security cameras often capture wrongdoing, this time they caught a moment of wonderful decency. For Christopher and his family, it was a vivid reminder that small acts of kindness can have a lasting impact. Thank you, sir, for your act of kindness. And we've got an amazing love story. I came across this last year. It's about a Doug and a Terry Owens. Their love story began decades ago in the most classic teenage setting, a roller skating rink. Doug was 17, Terry was 16, and the two of them were smitten. Within a few years, they tied the knot and life unfolded. They found themselves on different paths. Doug wasn't ready to settle down and start a family, while Terry dreamed of motherhood. They parted ways after just a year of marriage, each going on to have other relationships, raise children, and experience the ups and downs of life. Well, fast forward many years, and life had another plan for them. In 2010, Doug and Terry reconnected on Facebook. Despite the years apart, their chemistry was instant. They laughed, they reminisced, and rediscovered the bond they once had. Doug became close to Terry's children and proved himself as more than a friend. He became part of her family's fabric. In 2014, after rekindling their romance, they remarried on the unforgettable date of December the 13th, 2014. The second chapter of their marriage was filled with laughter and love and shared dreams. Yet on a fateful night in August 2023, their bond would face yet another unimaginable test. Terry was asleep when she suddenly went into cardiac arrest. Her breathing had turned irregular and her body had become unresponsive. Doug, already familiar with the symptoms of a heart attack from his own past experience, knew he had to act quickly. He called 911 and followed the dispatcher's instructions, performing CPR as they talked him through each step. Despite his fear and the sight of Terry's condition worsening, Doug kept going, desperate to save her. When first responders arrived, they worked on Terry for over 20 minutes before transporting her to the hospital. Doctors discovered she had a complete blockage in her right artery and performed emergency surgery. Had Doug not acted so swiftly, she might have suffered permanent brain damage or worse. His quick thinking and the critical CPR he administered ultimately saved her life. In the aftermath, Terry did experience some short-term memory loss, and as she regained her strength, she had to piece together everything that had happened, often repeating the same questions about that night. Slowly but surely, her memory returned and she began to heal, regaining not only her health, but also a renewed appreciation for every single moment. For Doug and for Terry, This harrowing experience cemented the deep love and devotion they had found in their second chance. Today, they embrace life fully. Terry spends her days pursuing passions, art, music, and time with Doug, while never taking a single moment for granted. For Terry, Doug isn't just her husband, he's her lifesaver. He's my hero, she says. Every moment is important. Embrace every moment. Thank you, Terry. That's a wonderful bit of advice and a great story. And now, how about some Did You Know? Oh, what else? It's February, Black History Month. So, did you know that Carter G. Woodson's vision? Did you know what that was? Well, Black History Month started as Negro History Week in 1926, about 1926. Carter G. Woodson, a historian known as Father of Black History, chose the second week of February because it included the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two figures instrumental to African American freedom. And did you know it wasn't until 1976, during the United States bicentennial celebration, that Black History Month became a nationally recognized observation? President Gerald Ford called on Americans to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. And did you know that Black History Month isn't just about historical figures like Harriet Tubman or Martin Luther King? It's also about celebrating present day changemakers in fields like science, technology, sports, and the arts. It's a reminder that Black history is being made every day. And about the entertainment world. Did you know that Hollywood has played a major role in raising awareness of Black history? Films like 12 Years a Slave, Selma, and Hidden Figures have shined a spotlight on untold and underrepresented stories, encouraging broader discussions and recognition of Black contributors. Well, did you know all that? And now, so what's going on in the movie town? Well, we've got Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Vowed. Wallace and Gromit, Gromit, I believe. Wallace and Gromit face a bizarre case involving stolen eggs, a menacing bird, and a plot that threatens their peaceful village. This stop motion action sees the beloved inventor and his loyal dog donning their detective hats to uncover the mastermind behind the avian antics, blending humor and suspense with their usual creative contraptions. And then there's Henry Danger the movie. When a powerful villain from another dimension targets Swellville, Henry Hart, aka Kid Danger, and Captain Man must step up to save their city. Packed with action, comic twists, and the same lovable characters from the hit TV series, the movie brings the Danger Force to the big screen for a high stakes showdown. Oh, I'm actually looking forward to that one. And then there's The Colors Within, a movie drama that explores the intertwined lives of a group of friends as they navigate identity and friendship and personal struggles. It's set against the backdrop of vivid art, music, and cultural exploration. This story delves into what it means to embrace individuality and find strength in diversity. And there's Dog Man, based on Dave Pilkey's a popular graphic novel series. This animated feature follows Dogman, the half canine, half human crime fighter, as he takes on a wacky villain who threatens the city's safety. While its unique blend of humor, heart, and quirky characters, the movie captures the spirit of the beloved books. And last but not least, The Unbreakable Boy, a heartfelt story inspired by real events. The movie tells the tale of a boy with autism and a rare brittle bone condition who transforms the lives of everyone around him. His unshakable positivity and courage demonstrate the power of love, hope, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. And now, some of the top soundtracks in our world. What have they been? Thinking about good movies and fun movies. The Lion King, top soundtrack, 1994. Saturday Night Fever, 1977. Purple Rain, another top soundtrack in 1984. Pulp Fiction, 1994. A Star is Born, 2018. And I'd like to throw in A Star is Born, 1976, 76, I believe, with Barbara Streisand. Was that 76 or 78? Love that soundtrack. Forrest Gump was in 1994. Absolutely wonderful. Um, Tracks like Fortunate Son, Sweet Home Alabama, Blowing in the Wind. Could mention a few of the songs that are on there. Purple Rain was When Doves Cry, and Purple Rain. Pulp Fiction was in 1994. Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Um, just some really great songs. Oh, The Bodyguard, 1992, with Whitney Houston's powerful voice. I Will Always Love You, Run to You. Um, how about Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014? Come and get your love, come and get your love, come and get your love. Now. They really did a 70s, 80s thing. Hooked on a Feeling was there. Of course, Grease, 1978. And The Sound of Music, 1965 with Julie Andrews. My Favorite Things, Do Re Mi. And how about Climb Every Mountain? Oops, I'd forget. And now it's time for a Jolly Chat story. We're going to call The Crew of Paws Mardi Gras Adventure, inspired by Lisa. It was a bright, sunny morning in New Orleans, and the kind of day where you could just feel the music and joy bubbling in the air long before the parades had begun. This wasn't just any Mardi Gras parade. This was the Crew of Paws, a magical celebration of fur, fun, and friendship. At the head of the parade was King Creole, a regal German shepherd with a heart as golden as the crown atop his head. He wore a shimmering purple cape lined with green and gold tassels, and his tail wagged with a rhythm that could only rival any jazz drummer in the quarter. Beside him was his radiant Queen Jessie, a poised golden retriever with a natural smile and a glittering tiara that caught the sunlight. Together, they ruled over their furry little kingdom with love and playfulness. Their court was made up of their best fur friends, each with their own unique charm. Well, there was Rocky, the ever enthusiastic border collie. He bounded in the parade line, tossing toy beads to the children on the sidelines, and Princess, a petite and elegant papillon, was decked out in a miniature ball gown and enjoyed tossing plush bones from her little tiny float. And Scooby, a spunky French bulldog, well, he waddled along with a jaunty top hat. She with a jaunty top hat, her short legs pumping like a tiny four-legged marching band. And Snoop, a dignified Great Dane, moved with a stately grace, his purple sash declaring him the Grand Duke of Treats. And mischievous Mr. Bow, a clever Welsh corky, trotted along in a jester's costume, playfully flipping rings and catching them on her tail. Well, the crew wound their way through the streets, their tails a wagging and joyful barks, accompanied by a brass band playing the lively Mardi Gras tunes. People lined the streets, cheering and clapping as the furry revelers pranced, spun, and danced their way down the historic avenues. Children laughed as they caught the toy bones and squeaky beads tossed their way. The city itself seemed to pulse with the unique spirit of the canine crew. When the parade reached its grand finale at Jackson Square, the fur friends gathered at a specially set up pavilion. Here, doggy treats of all kinds awaited, freshly baked biscuits, peanut butter chews, and even pup-friendly beignets. For the human participants, the Crew of Paws had planned a special surprise. A table of colorful cupcakes and cookies and king cake slices for the children, along with balloons shaped like paw prints. Kids and dogs alike shared in the joy, with giggles and happy barks filling the square. And as the day wound down, King Creole and Queen Jazzy led a final group of celebrations. The whole crew, along with their loyal fans, gathered for one big giant group hug. Children wrapped their arms around their favorite fur babies, and neighbors hugged one another in a spontaneous wave of good cheer. The day ended with a chorus of laughter, tail wags, and the kind of hugs that leave you feeling all warm and loved. This year's Crew of Paws parade wasn't just a Mardi Gras event. It was a reminder of the unconditional joy and love of our furry friends and all that they bring into our lives. And as the sun set over New Orleans, you could almost hear the city itself smiling, ready to do it all over again next year. The end. And now, as we come to a close of today's episode, let's remember that the stories we've shared serve as reminders to us to see the goodness that's all around us each and every day. And for us to remember that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So find your beauty, shine, and share it. Remember to spread love, joy, and positivity whenever and wherever you go. We'll see you next week for some more stories, some entertainment news, some fun facts. But until then, peace and love always. And thank you for tuning in to the Sunny Daze Podcast.